Could you start off by telling us your name and where you're from?
My name is Tumelo Manyamala, and I'm from Cape Town, South Africa.
Talk to me about the emotions you feel when they call you and say, hey, you're on the show, you're going to Vegas.
All I felt was excitement and the feeling of this is my destiny to be here. And yeah, I've dreamed of this for a very long time. I watched TUF back in the day, almost all the seasons, and I always imagined myself being in this kind of scenario. So for it to be confirmed and actually happening is it's unreal.
I mean, there's a lot of guys who get called up and they get fights in the UFC, but, the list of guys who go through the Ultimate Fighter house is smaller, right? Do you feel sort of privileged that you get to be one of those guys that, okay, it's going to stink being in the house with a bunch of dudes, but you get to go through this journey?
Definitely. As my coach said, this is the show that kind of made the UFC. So it's an absolute privilege to go through the TUF house, and to do it on the 20th anniversary is, it's amazing.
And, South Africa is kind of in vogue at the moment in MMA with Dricus du Plessis. How cool is it to represent that country? And then UFC Africa supposedly on the horizon. I'm sure that would be something you'd love to do.
I mean, to be part of South African MMA in the UFC is crazy, Dricus being the first South African champ, I hope to be the second and go down in South African MMA history books.
Talk to me a little bit about the coaching styles and what you envision the difference between Chael and DC when it gets into you guys start training.
Coaching styles. I know DC has a lot more coaching experience from what I've seen. They're both wrestlers, which is nice. I come from a kickboxing background, so the grappling experience from the two of them would be truly unreal. So whatever team I'm on, I know I'll be happy. And yeah.
And if those guys ever scrapped, who comes out with their hands up?
DC and Chael.
Yeah.
Hey, you're gonna get me.
I'm gonna put you on the spot.
It's gonna be a draw.
Good answer. I'm sure you've thought about coming in this. Like you said, the show means a lot, and it's got a very storied history. But there's also challenges, inside the house. What do you envision that maybe the toughest challenge that you haven't thought of that might show up inside the house? Is it just purely time away from family? Is it maybe being, constantly grinding and no breaks? What do you think that the biggest challenge might be inside the house?
I honestly think I'm going to thrive inside the house. I think the biggest challenge just might be being away from my family, my fiancée, which we just found out that she's pregnant. So, being away from that, it has its own challenges. But I know that it's going to be worth it, and I'll just keep that at the back of my mind and push through.
Well, congratulations on that. Now you have some extra motivation as well. Huh?
Exactly.
When you've watched episodes in the past, what are the things that you've thought that contestants have done wrong inside the house? You say you're going to thrive, but what have people done wrong in the house before, you think?
I mean, people talk to me about how it could affect staying in the same house as your opponent. But I just think you get to analyze them for longer. You get to know about them. When we do our open workouts, you're going to literally be training with them. So I think I'm going to thrive. It's all just mental pressure. And if you can push past the mental pressure, you'll be A-okay.
And one of the great things about the show is people get to learn about the fighters. They see their personalities. What are you hoping people find out about you during this show?
They're going to find out that I'm going to knock out everyone.
Well, outside of the contract, everybody wants to be the Ultimate Fighter at the end of the day. But what are you hoping to get out of this experience besides, obviously a contract?
I mean, we're a bunch of fighters, people with the same mindset. It's very hard to find that in the real world, as I like to say. So just, connections. Even though we're going to be fighting each other, we're still going to connect on spiritual level. We're all fighters. I mean, getting experience from coaches like DC and Chael Sonnen, that's unreal. Nowhere else would you be able to get that. Even if you enter the UFC, the traditional way, just getting the contract, you won't be able to get that experience from the two of them. So I think, good experience.
And I think I said that was the last question, but, a lot of people talk about the contender or the Ultimate Fighter, and some people just say, oh, man, I would just rather go the contender route. Why did you rather go the Ultimate Fighter route? Why was this the right call for you?
Because it's tougher, and I know I'm a tough man, so got to go through the tougher route to prove yourself, and Yeah.
Great answer. Best of luck on the show.
Thank you so much.